No, that's really interesting because I think a lot of what we touch on is kind of the suppliers doing the work in the way to become part of the industry, to bring people in the industry. But you're completely right in terms of when, as a garage owner, you engage in the industry, it kind of not only gives more opportunities to you, more understanding of what's out there, but allows you to, like you say, being a brand ambassador. That would be an incredible opportunity. So, do you know any ways or kind of moments or certain opportunities that you've come across from being so involved in the industry?
I mean, it can just lead on and lead on. So we are one of our predominant suppliers is ECP, and they've developed relationships with their customers, and they've come up with the One Tech concept, which Louise Davis has come up with, and they're inviting certain garage members to become a part of that. They've just recently, in the beginning of April, had their second One Tech event, which was held at Silverstone. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I had an invitation to go and do a presentation and share some of my knowledge and some of my learnings with people. But that started from years ago, going to events like Auto Mechanica and just finding these people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. You only ever see their invoice or their online presence when you're ordering a part. You go and have a conversation with them. You find out that the person that's on the stand is your area manager. And it just slowly builds over a period of time from being at that event and putting yourself out there and just making contact, because it still comes back to the same thing about relationships. People buy from people.
No, that is so true. The invoice one hit me because that's true. You get this through, and you're thinking, "Oh, these guys, I'm not loving them." But when you build that relationship, you can forgive them for for that.
Yeah, and it doesn't change anything, does it? It doesn't change what your invoice is, or it's just about having that connection and building that connection, and before you know it, you're flying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in some of the how this has kind of worked for you. So just going on to follow-ups, because I think that that's an important one. Has there been any decisions that you've made because somebody followed up or because somebody didn't? Kind of both of those.
So yeah, I've seen somebody recently at the Castrol event that have a piece of software that they're kind of trying to promote, which is going to help technicians and the front of house when you sort of diagnose a problem with a car, and then how you can use video images and pictures to explain that to the customer. So if you've got a service advisor who perhaps isn't technical, and I had a demo at the event and was really, really impressed with it. It gave me we had a conversation, we had a chat. He wanted to know about our garage and what we did. He knew of me, so he was kind of quite keen to get us on board. So we had a conversation about how it would impact, and the fact that I have 3 different sites and how we could utilize it across 3 sites. He has reached out to me since that event, and he has come in to see me in the second week of June to do a demonstration with the whole team, and then we will go from there whether it's something we carry forward with or not. We also have relationships with some of our suppliers through ECP, like Padgett. We use Padgett braking. They've come on board again. They visited our sites and they've gone through with every single technician and the service advisors, and we've just gone through that, reiterating best practice for braking, the best products to use, the best method, because the technicians know how to change brake pads and discs. They don't need to be told. It's just about best practices. And they obviously reiterate to us the warranty that Padgett have, which is 25,000 months, or 25,000 miles, or 25 months, which again, the service advisors, because they've been in that process and had that training, they can use that as a selling point to the customers when we sell brakes. We use this particular brand. And again, that comes from initially, many years ago, having a conversation with a supplier, introducing who you are, how can we help each other. It's just progress. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, but there's no reason why any exhibitors there this year can't begin to build those relationships And then in 2 years' time, they could have some brand ambassadors on their stand shouting about their products, and they won't even need to do the work. Someone else will be doing it for them.
Yeah, I mean that's the ideal situation, isn't it? So then, going back to that software, was that something you were currently in the market for? Had you done research on that, or was it kind of you saw it there and you thought, oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
probably something we should look into?
I'd heard about it. Somebody had recommended it. We were trying to find a solution to breach the gap between the sort of technical in the workshop to the non-technical in the front of house, and how that can get from A to B and then portrayed to the customer in jargon free, if you like, so that they could understand. So it wasn't something that I was actively going out of my way to find. I had shared a problem that we were having with somebody, and they recommended this particular company, and then they just happened to be at that event. So I made the point of having that conversation, having a discussion about what we were struggling with. And then they spoke to me about the why, which is not about this is what I've got. This is why we're doing what we're doing, because we want to bridge that gap. And yeah, the rest is history. We shall see what happened when they come to visit in June.
Yeah, so in that case, if they hadn't been at that event, it could have been something that you had continued on with your life and,
Yeah,
had the recommendation but not actually made that step.
yeah, definitely.
So now I want to get into a bit of what you're doing. So obviously you're head of the garage section at IAAF. So can you talk about a bit about what's happening behind the scenes this year and what your focus has been?
So Mark and myself, well, Mark came up with the idea of having a garage panel a couple of years ago and invited me to head that. So we're trying to bridge the gap and bring the distributors together, the suppliers, the garage owners, all under one federation, and have everybody be able to support each other. We didn't know how it was going to go. We didn't know how many garages would actually jump on board. It's a free membership for garages, they don't have to pay. So we have relationships with insurance companies and software companies, and lots of suppliers are all on our IAAF council. So it's enabled us to have easy access to the support and the help that we need. So we have the Garage Awards, which is on the Wednesday, different categories: young mechanic, apprentice, multi site, single site, large site, and the overall garage of the year, which is, again, it's we're seeing this year that we've got quite a few potential winners that you don't normally see, which is really encouraging because we've got some newcomers that have put themselves forward. So that's really good. It kind of is encouraging us that what we're doing is working. We're trying to get those other garages involved. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, it's just incredible, really. So we meet as a garage council every quarter, and we discuss things that we're struggling with as garage owners, which is normally the same things: recruitment, staff retention, the sort of lack of skills, if you like. And it's nice that we can bounce ideas off each other, and what one works for one might not necessarily work for another. But again, with the IAAF behind us, we've got that support from their council members about going forward, how we can make this better, improvements that we can make. So that's really exciting.
I mean, that sounds like it would have a huge impact. A lot of it is we can, as business owners, just want to figure things out on our own. And, sometimes, I mean, I've been in the position where I'm thinking, I swear somebody would have done this a lot quicker, a lot better than I can figure out for the next 10 years of my life. Why don't I just talk to someone that's got the t-shirt? So, I mean, what do you think that kind of impact would be on the work?
I mean, it's massive. It's absolutely massive. It's there for everyone to engage in. We're all learning. Like I say, we're all learning from each other. So people are taking away things that others have already tried and tested, and it's working, and it's having an immediate impact on perhaps their staff, their team. And I think sometimes you know, ultimately, our team are our most valuable asset, because without them, we can't do anything. And I think we sometimes forget that. So being able to take ideas away and go back to your garage and focus on your team and what you can offer them and how we can help them and how we can support them, training, it just then has ricochets throughout your business because it has an impact on your sales, on your staff morale and well-being, and yeah, it's really.
No, I imagine. And I think for the going back to the garage awards as well, like you say, the team is such a vital part in terms of, we do have this skills gap that's evident. There's, it's not the sexiest industry anymore. People are going down other routes and kind of going into different sectors. That I think the representation that the garage awards would give would be huge for the independent sector.
Yeah, I mean, it sold out. The dinner, the awards, it's sold out already. So yeah, I don't think we can have a bigger room than we've got. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to do next year, but
A stadium for sure.
yes.
So, you also regularly write for the Auto Technician magazine, and I just wanted to pick your brains on what sort of topics are you most drawn to right now?
It is normally around numbers. So I spend a lot of time looking at data, looking at KPIs, which I think a lot of garage owners do.
Hmm.
But finance is my background. So I'm able to identify certain KPIs. Are they making us money? How are they making us money? How much money are they making us? If they're not, how can I improve them? Things like workshop efficiency. I think it's something that I think people are afraid to measure it with the idea that you're going to be cracking the whip to make your team work harder. That's not how I see it. I see it as an opportunity to look at where are our processes failing, what systems and processes are not in place for us to have a low workshop efficiency, and what can I do to put in place to increase that efficiency. It's not necessarily about the guys are not working properly. It's about what's going on behind the scenes that they can't influence, that is having an impact on it. So lots of data, really, lots of numbers. Yeah, I'm looking at it constantly.
Yeah, I mean, I bet. And that is a lot of it. I think as, business owners, when you have staff that maybe are underperforming or you don't feel like you're getting a lot out of them, ultimately the responsibility is on you, isn't it? So having
Mm-hmm.
that data to back it up, it is exactly what allows you to make those decisions. And I suppose it ties back into the fact that that's what you're looking at all fronts. So whether we spoke now about exhibitions, whether we're talking about what you're currently interested in right now, it's the outcome for the garage that is the most important thing. And as a supplier, as somebody that's exhibiting, that needs to be the core message that you go in with rather than a selfish, look how great we are kind of message. It needs to be like, this is how we can measurably impact the garage for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So, last question from me, which is from your point of view, what are most suppliers getting wrong when they're trying to engage garage owners at events?
It's a difficult one because I think I think on the smaller stands it's very difficult because you've obviously got some very big companies going to be there that got big stands and lots of staff to man, and that's a bit easier to engage with customers. I think with the smaller ones it's not even really necessarily the setup of the stand or the how what you're exhibiting, it's the engagement. If you're walking down an aisle and you've got sort of stands on either side, what are you doing to try and entice me to step over the line?
Mm-hmm.
And lots of people talk about the free gifts and the cups and the mugs and the socks and all the other little things that you can have. I want more than that. I don't want the free gift. I want you to show an interest in me and what can you do for me, what do you need to do to me to get me to step over the line? And I get it because on day 3, I imagine these people are absolutely exhausted and fed up of talking to people and trying to put on a smile and show some passion. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they need to kind of rotate their staff or something. I don't know. But I want some engagement. I want some passion. I want you to be encouraging me to come on. I don't want you just want to be stood there. And even if it's not necessarily a product that I perhaps are thinking of looking at, the engagement to get me over the line onto your stand is what people will remember. It's certainly what I will remember.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said as well, is that a lot of the relationships that you're currently seeing kind of come to a head right now have been years in the making,
Yeah,
right? So the last thing you want is just a limp hand giving you a pen, that you've
yeah,
got a million of right now. Instead, it's going to be, can you be interested in me, in my garage, in what we're doing? And then, who knows, 7 years, 10 years down the line, it could be, oh, I remember that. And we had a really
yeah.
good conversation.
Yeah, and that is exactly how it happens. You might not think at the time oh, I'm not interested in this. I don't need to go and see them. But if they've engaged you, if they've got some passion and they've engaged you in and they've had a conversation, it may be 18 months later that you're thinking, what was that guy or who was that person? What was that lady we went and spoke to? And then you will do some digging and it will come up, because it might not be right there and then that you need their services or their product, but it could be down the line, and they still need to have that engagement to kind of win you over.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the nurture bit and the follow up is so important, isn't it? If
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're not ready now, but this gentle, we're still here, let us know if we can help, and an exchange of value, like you say, with everything that you're looking at. Yeah, I think a lot of people get that wrong. Sometimes they just want the sale and they want the ROI directly from the exhibit, rather than let's
Yeah.
kind of nurture this relationship so that maybe something comes of it.
I mean, we would do it as a garage owners. We would do it with our customers. We have this thing that we have 5 customer touch points. One being they've found us online and done their own research. The second would be they may have rang us up and asked for an estimate. The third would be we responded to that, and then that's how you. So I'm expecting to see something similar with an exhibitor. I want that email before I'm arriving. Just let me know you're going to be there. Can I do this for you? What can I, how can I help you? And then, the second or third touch point may be at the actual show, but that doesn't convert into a sale until touch point number 5, which we don't know when that will be.
Yeah, exactly. So almost manufacture that in a way through
Mm-hmm.
segmenting the audience so it's a bit more relevant. Yeah, that's a great takeaway. Um, Amazing. So thank you. I mean, so much for giving us your time. I'm really, really excited for this one to go out and how valuable it's been. So could you just let everybody know where they can find you?
I'm there. I'm there all 3 days. I will spend quite a bit of time at the IAAF lounge. There's a women's event. There's an IAAF women's event, which is not just for women. It's just promoting women. That's at the IAAF stand about midday on the Wednesday. I should probably be involved in the Motivate, which is a new thing that Auto Mechanica are putting together. So I'm going to be helping the IAAF sort of promote the independent side of that as well. But I'm on a panel discussion Tuesday lunchtime about the right to repair. So yeah, I will be around somewhere.
You won't be visiting suppliers, you're in it. Bless you. That's amazing. And what about online? Where can people get in touch with you?
CCM, just Google CCM. Just email me. My email will be on there.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.